The eternal silence of God. It's probably the biggest challenge to faith that humans have ever wrestled with. But what if that silence isn't empty at all?
That's such a fascinating paradox to explore. Throughout history, this divine silence has sparked everything from profound philosophical treatises to deeply personal crises of faith.
Well, you know what's interesting? Studies show that even in our modern secular age, over 70% of people report having prayed during times of crisis. We keep reaching into that silence, expecting something.
But couldn't that just be desperation? Like throwing a coin in a fountain. We know it's probably meaningless, but we do it anyway, just in case.
That's exactly what makes this so intriguing. Even in our most rational moments, there's this persistent human instinct to reach beyond ourselves. Like how quantum physicists keep finding that the deeper they go into matter, the more mysterious things become.
Oh, that's an interesting parallel. The silence at the heart of atoms and the silence at the heart of faith. But at least quantum physics gives us measurable results.
Well, what if the results of divine silence are measurable too? Research shows that people who engage with this spiritual silence through meditation, prayer, or contemplation show measurable changes in brain activity and stress responses.
Right. But those same benefits can come from any form of mindfulness practice. You don't need a divine element to explain the neurological effects.
That's true. But here's something fascinating. Studies in evolutionary psychology suggest that our capacity for spiritual experience might actually be hardwired into our brains. It's like we're built to perceive something beyond the material world.
You know what that reminds me of? How deep-sea creatures evolved to detect bioluminescence in the darkness. We might just be pattern-seeking animals who developed spiritual sensitivity as a survival mechanism.
But even that comparison raises interesting questions. Those deep-sea creatures evolved to detect something that actually exists. Why would evolution give us spiritual sensitivity if there was nothing to be sensitive to?
So you're suggesting that divine silence might be like dark matter. We can't detect it directly, but we can observe its effects.
Exactly. And just like dark matter, which makes up most of the universe, but remains invisible, maybe this divine silence is actually the majority of reality. We just haven't developed the right tools to measure it yet.
That's quite a leap from neurological patterns to cosmic significance. How do you respond to critics who say this is just sophisticated wishful thinking?
Well, consider this. Throughout history, many things that seemed like wishful thinking turned out to be profound insights. Ancient philosophers proposed atoms thousands of years before we could detect them.
But for every ancient insight that turned out to be true, there were hundreds that turned out to be pure mythology.
That's fair, but here's what's unique about divine silence. It's not just about belief or disbelief. It's about how this silence, whether divine or not, has shaped human consciousness and culture in measurable ways.
You mean like how religious contemplation has influenced art, architecture, and philosophical thought?
Exactly. And beyond that, this silence has consistently pushed humans to expand their understanding of reality. Every major scientific and philosophical breakthrough has come from someone willing to stare into the unknown.
That's an interesting way to frame it. Seeing divine silence not as an absence of answers, but as a space that invites deeper questions.
And those questions have led to some remarkable discoveries. Did you know that many of the earliest universities grew out of this very wrestling with divine silence?
Well, that's because they were trying to find concrete answers to replace the silence, weren't they?
Perhaps initially, but what they found was something more profound, that the questions themselves were transformative. It's like how quantum physics discovered that the act of observation changes what's being observed.
So you're suggesting that our engagement with divine silence actually shapes what we find there?
Precisely. And modern neuroscience is starting to back this up. Research shows that contemplative practices literally reshape our neural pathways, changing how we perceive and interact with reality.
But couldn't that just mean we're really good at creating meaning where none exists?
You know, that's what's so fascinating. Even if that were true, the fact that we can create meaning out of silence suggests something remarkable about consciousness itself. It's like we're cosmic meaning-making machines.
That's actually quite beautiful. Seeing human consciousness as something that transforms silence into significance.
And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe divine silence isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. It's what allows us to grow, to question, to create.
So in the end, whether the silence is divine or not might matter less than what we do with it.
Exactly. The silence might be empty, or it might be full of meaning, but our response to it has undeniably shaped human consciousness in profound ways. And that's something worth contemplating.